everyone. Welcome to Pixel Ben Podcast. Today, I'm mainly going to talk about my experience with Starlink for the last 2 months. Initially, when we got it, by the way, I'd like to thank MyTech Solutions, MTS Solutions. They're the ones who sent me this t-shirt that I'm wearing today. This is not a sponsored program by any means. I'd just like to thank them because I did a video and I referenced them in my last Starlink video, update video, and they decided to send me a t-shirt. So I just like to thank them. I'll put the link, the details below after this video. You can look through them, you can give them a call, or even tag them on the video on TikTok. I don't know if they have I'll check if they have a YouTube page, but on TikTok I do have the details and I'll tag you on TikTok. But on YouTube, I'll let you know. But I'll still tag everything on YouTube as well, whether it be on TikTok or whatever. Yes, back to what I wanted to talk about. What I'm talking about actually is our experience with Starlink for the last 2 months. The first month we were on the roaming package, which was good, but it was actually expensive. I remember where I was working previously. When we got the Starlink, we were paying about 1,000 kwacha a month, which was about around $41 per month USD. Then they increased it from 1,000 kwacha, Zambian kwacha, to 2,500. So imagine from almost double the price, from paying like $42 to about now $95 per month. That's the current roaming package. And what I didn't like about the roaming package was that it was slow sometimes. So it gets speeds between 35 Mbps to around 120. And even the pings were between lowest about maybe 170 to about 220, 230 milliseconds. Okay. So for those gamers, yeah, you would game, but if you're trying to be really competitive, those are not worthwhile pings. Usually I don't recommend Starlink for professional gamers. For casual gamers, well and good. For professional gamers, nah. This would not be an ideal because you're looking at the lower the pings below 20, 30 milliseconds. That's what you're looking at when you're playing professional gaming. But Starlink, not yet. And this is because we do not have a base station in Africa. That's one of the major reasons why our pings are very horrible at the moment. But then after using it for 1 month, I then changed the data plan to residential package. Then what I realized is actually with the residential package, you are given more priority because with the with the roaming package, it assumes you're always moving about from one place to another. So it's, for example, because for example, the roaming package in Zambia, let's just say I'm in Lusaka province, then I want to go like 600 kilometers north. That's the Copper Belt. Okay. So because they assume you're always moving back and forth, they don't give you priority in terms of data speeds. Whereas with a residential package, they know you're going to be in one geographical area, so to speak, give or take 5 kilometers, within a radius of like 5 kilometers, 5 to 10 kilometers, okay? That's, within that radius, then they'll still give you priority on that because you're in one stagnant position. And I noticed when we moved from the roaming to the residential package, pings reduced actually from 170 to 220 to around, on a really good day, 120, 130 milliseconds to about 140, 150, highest 160 on average. But then I also had to do a little bit of tweaking, which I'll explain a bit later on that. And also on the speeds, they gradually improved from, on average, between 35 to 70, 80, sometimes even 100 Mbps to about 50 Mbps to around 120, 130, 140. So on a very good day, you get even about 150 constant. On a very bad day, you get about 40 to 50 Mbps. So there was slight improvement. There is slight improvement when you actually use the residential package. And fortunately, they have also increased the residential package because we were paying 770 kwacha, which is like $29 a month, to about 1,160, which is around $44. Okay, so pretty much what we're paying for the roaming package has been moved now to the residential package. But there's a saving grace in that there is what they call there is a package, so you don't want to spend too much, but you mean you'll be getting more or less roaming speeds. That is the residential light package, which is 800 kwacha, which is like $31 per month. Okay, but then what it is that you'll be having, your speeds won't exceed 100 Mbps. On a good day, maybe 100, 120, then between, they're saying lowest 50, but I'm pretty much thinking maybe 25 to 30 Mbps, which is not bad for especially the home needs where I'm currently located. That's far much better than we're getting 5 Mbps on some of these ISPs, but paying the same amount of money, which is really, really sad, if you ask me. But then because of that, at least with Starlink, it has brought up the competition in terms of ISPs. Some are falling off, some are trying to, readjust their game plan because they're dealing with an international company that is low, that has kind of lowered the internet speed, the price for the internet speed. Because believe you me, in some of these places, they would have, their way would be to paying premium amount of money of, let's just say 1,500 for like maybe 10 Mbps. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm paying, if I were to pay 1,160, 1,160 like $45 for between 35 to 50 Mbps. That's fine by me. Okay. The only difference with the other ISPs compared to Starlink is they beat Starlink, all of them, most of them beat Starlink in terms of pings, except Z Mobile. Z Mobile has the same type of pings because they're not, it's a new ISP which was recently launched. So on that one, I give them a pass. They, in terms of pings, are pretty much neck and neck, unless you have a proper 5. I've not tested it on a proper 5G device. I'm yet to test that. Okay, so do I get a thing? For now, if you're having a 4G or 5G adjacent device, so to say, then you be on one. Because even upload speeds are pretty much the same as Starlink. The only difference is Starlink sometimes tends to one up in terms of consistency. Because on Z Mobile, it will just go off hours sometimes even days on the area that I'm located. Whereas with Starlink, I've not experienced an outage whatsoever, unless there is loss of power. Other than that, it's just been consistent through and through. Though there are cons that I don't like with Starlink, in being that one, I don't have control over the IP addresses. I like to change my IP addresses. Okay, I know there's a solution for that, meaning I can just get a third-party router, then do a bypass, then configure whatever IP addresses that I want. But from the box, I can't control what IP addresses I can give. It's fixed within the device itself, which I don't like. Secondly, is that I don't have the liberty of controlling the channels of the Wi-Fi signal. Okay, there are moments where, because I'm in a residential area, and probably the next residential, next house next to us, and the neighbors around, probably they have their own Wi-Fi devices, and sometimes they can be, in terms of there can be conflict in terms of the wireless devices that I have between them, because you're all using the same type of frequency, so channel, so to say. Sorry, not frequency, channel on your network. So, for example, if we're all using channel 6, there'll be some sort of distortion in terms of internet speeds among us, because you're all using the same channel. But if only Starlink would give us that ability, especially the routing device, to change the channel. So if the neighbor is using channel 6, I can use either 11 or any other channel after that, okay? Because the channels are not crowding, so to say, in a simpler term, okay? I don't want channels crowding within the same area. I'll pretty much change. So those are one of the two major things that I don't really like about Starlink. Oh yes, and the upload speed as well. It's upload speeds are not good. They're not good. But internet service is great. I have no problem with internet service with Starlink. What I don't like is the upload speeds, the ability to change IP addresses, because I like to use class A IP addresses, the 10.0.0.0. I'm still using class C subnet, but I like to change things. So I don't like people to guess the type of IP address I'm using locally, because if usually a majority default network devices that it comes with, you have to really change that. But I understand the solution that I need is just to buy an Ethernet adapter connected to the router that we used to use, connecting to previous ISP. There I have my own pre-configured IP addresses. That's what I'm planning on doing, because of the increase the packages. So now we have to move from residential to residential light. And this residential light has a limit of about 100 Mbps, and the router that we have that I used to use previously, unfortunately, the one port limit is 10.10/100 Mbps. Okay, which I may need to upgrade that router, but for now, that will actually play along within that same limits. Because I still wanted to do that on residential, but then I realized I'm moving to residential light, and it's going to be not more than 100 Mbps, which is fine on the current router that will. Yes, one of the things that I actually did in terms of improving the internet service of the Starlink is I kind of changed the DNS settings of the Starlink. So if you go to your Starlink app, whether be it Android or Apple, you scroll down to just after speed test, you go to settings. In settings, you go to custom DNS. So custom DNS, that's where I change. You can use the Cloudflare DNS or the Google free DNS or the Open DNS, which is now owned by Cisco. The one that we use is we use the DNS code Next DNS. So I put both primary and the backup and the IP6 DNS. So because we did that, it slightly improved it by about, I'll probably say 5% of the internet speed. So what I want to do is, once I get the Ethernet adapter, I want to use a third-party router that I've been using, and I'm actually running custom OS on that router. The custom OS that I'll be running on is, I use, Tomato firmware, which is a fork of DDWRT. Okay, I used to use DDWRT, but then I like the interface of Tomato firmware, and the version, actually, the Tomato firmware that we're using was Sherby for a while, and now it's Fresh Tomato that we're using. That's where I like to do quality of service in terms of specifying which port and service, and then allocate speed, the amount of speed used for that service. For example, maybe YouTube and whatnot, okay, for a particular service, that I like to do. And just a little bit more control over everything else in terms of DNS, and doing also a little bit of custom DNS, and also control the type of IP, and have fixed IP addresses for certain devices. But very soon I'm planning on getting what's this? What device is this? Chromecast, yes. So I want to assign that Chromecast a particular IP address. And also, I also want to do what we call a thing. I want to separate the networks, okay? I want to create VLANs so that I want a VLAN for when guests come home. I can give them connect via this guest IP thing, guest network. So that way they don't see what I have on the other private end of the network. So I want to separate the networks. That's the reason why I'm going with that router and also with a custom ROM as well, so that at least I have control. So with that, you have to do bypass, so at least now the IP address goes straight to your router and whatnot. So that's what I want to do, because I want to separate the networks for the guests when they come through home and for here at home as well. So at least I'm able to have some level of control. So yeah, those are the things that I just wanted to talk about in terms of Starlink and our experience with Starlink for the last 2 months. The only problem that we've had has just been power issues. We call it load shedding in Southern Africa. Those in South Africa, Zimbabwe, in the other part of Southern Africa, you understand the term load shedding. Basically, you're given allocated amount of time for power usage. Like you heard a beeping just recently, that's power coming back. It's like midnight, I'm shooting this. So that's enables to charge. Maybe I should do a video on the inverter and battery that we're running on. Let me just do a little bit of research, then I can do that. So yeah, for now, I just want to talk about Starlink, thanking MTS for actually selling to us that the Gen 2 Starlink. I believe they have the Gen 3 in stock currently. I don't know about the Starlink Mini. I'll have to find out from them, but I'll still provide the details on everything where you can get them and how you can contact them. So yeah, thank you very much for listening, and I hope to talk to about something else. Since being in October, this is Tech October. So thank you, and till next time.